Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Glenn. In this episode, we're going to be making a turbo oil sump. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you don't know what a turbo oil sump is, I've already made two of them before. Well, I fabricated one and I used the catch can for one of them. So the first one I did was this junky looking thing. So we have the oil drain that comes from the turbo, and then the scavenger pump sucks it out of here. This one here is a breather. This one goes up into a catch can. So the drain, so it doesn't pull vacuum on the turbo. Does that make sense? Obviously the stock oil drain off like a pretty common Subaru turbo, yeah. So what I'm doing is pretty much copying what the Skid Factory have done. If you don't know what Skid Factory is, it's like another channel that started on Mighty Car Mods, and Turbo Yoda, he does his own oil sumps for turbos for 86s. So something very similar, which actually he said that Subaru did first. But so what I've got here is a 25 by 25 square tubing, which will fit there. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, the 25 width fits in there, but we can only go so far because of that bolt on the flange. So what we'll do, we'll probably get it towards the end there. And what I'll do is I'll get a length that I want, chop it, match that, and double it up. Does that make sense? We're going to get the AN fittings for the feed to the scavenger pump and one for the breather, and then I'll actually bolt straight up. See, it's bolt straight up to the turbo. Does that make sense? Alrighty guys, as you can see, we can fit the 25mm in there. You can see the bolt is actually sitting up against it. Yeah. So what we need to do, it's on a little bit of an angle. We need to clock the center there so it's flush, and then we can go from there. Depending on how it's clocked and the angle, it might angle it a little bit. And then we'll have to we make like a little section that comes down here. I'm not 100% sure just yet, because it's not what I was expecting. But things don't always go to plan, do they, guys? But we'll make it, and it'll be better than these two. Alrighty guys, so I've just clocked the center housing there, or the cartridge. So now this bar will actually sit flush on that, so we can get a perfect seal on it. So I'm going to get it out, I'm going to give it a chop, so we've got something to work with, a bit easier to work with, should I say. Alright, I'm finally back. It's Good Friday. I don't know how long it's been since I've been in here, probably 3 or 4 days. I'm on my second attempt for these little oil sump for the turbo. As you can probably see, the line the holes don't really line up. They're not central. I gave up on that one. So the second attempt is down here. It's actually bolted it up, as you can see. So this doesn't actually have a hole for the drain just yet. So what I'm thinking is putting a breather on this side and putting a bung on this side for the oil to go to the scavenger pump. So we are definitely lower than the sump, and we need it. Yeah. Okay, so I've just marked the middle. Yeah, so I've marked the bottom. That's towards the back. That's the bottom. That's the top. So we're going to be drilling out a 14mm hole. The drain for the turbo is 13 point something, so that's good. And this is on an angle, so it'll be draining down towards this end. Breather up this end, drain off this end. Alrighty, we got it bolted up. See the bolts in there that go through and into the cartridge of the turbo, and if you can see, there is a hole there in between the two bolts. Just there, it's a bigger hole. So it'll drain out into here. Obviously, it's just sitting there. It's going to be draining down into this bottom edge here and coming down. So, should I just the AN fitting to the end? I guess AN fitting on this end, breather on that end, and easy. The scavenger pump is going to be pulling oil through, and look, if it does get up to here, it's still not going to be backing up. So I think that's actually worked out quite well. I was hoping to actually weld two of these together to make it big. That would have worked if the housing was actually rotated around this way or back more, so we could actually get some depth here. But I think that's worked out okay. I do have a gasket, but I probably won't use a gasket. I'll just use some RTV on there, and obviously on the bolts as well, to seal up any gaps there. Maybe if we have AN fittings on both ends, we're going to have a light at the other end and see through and see how it's sealed. Don't want the RTV to block the drainage at all from the turbo. That's the main thing there. Yeah, it sits flush up against the housing, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm very happy with that. So just got to get the AN fittings off the old sump. So you're going to reuse them, clean them up, and hopefully they look alright. This compressor housing still needs to be rotated up, so that won't be there. So don't need to worry about that, guys. Alrighty guys, I have one off. It's really hot. So on the end of this square tubing, pretty much where I've cut it off, it's already good. So all I need to do is straighten it up a bit. As you can see, it's on the angle. Straighten it up to take some off this edge, and I'll get it off the car because the actual sump is still in the car, and I'll weld that on. I'll clean it up and weld it on. Then I gotta get this one off and do the same thing. The other battery ran out, and I've probably only got two or half. One, great. So this one's nearly dead too. So I'll probably have to wait until after dinner, and I'll get this one off. Alright guys, I'm finally back again. It's Saturday Arvo now. I've got both of the AN fittings off that old oil sump. I'm about to tack it on here, and might as well just fully weld it. Cleaned up the inside, and we can still see it's quite central. So on the other side I might drop it down so it's more at the bottom, if you can see. Not sure. We do have a bit of extra there, extra welding, extra metal. So we'll tack that on for now, and we'll see how it looks. Woohoo! We have one on. I like that. Still, the whole thing's hot. And obviously the coating, the galvanized coating, comes off when you weld it. So a bit flaky in there, so it's going to have a good clean out. Probably find a wire brush or something to get in there, clean it all out. It's going to be a bit harder to, well, not really. Cool. Might set this one lower, which I can do because I've got extra metal there, which I just said before. Alrighty, there we have it, guys. Both ends are done. This one is set down just a little bit lower for drainage. Alrighty, guys. Okay, so it's nearly midnight. So it's nearly Easter Sunday. I've got this oil sump on. It's nice and close to the guard there. So let's find a fitting and see how it goes with the fitting on there. Alrighty, guys, we have our first fitting on the sump. It's actually touching the guard liner. And there we have it. I've just swapped over the back to the front so we can see what it looks like. I may run them through those tow hooks and add an aftermarket tow hook to the vehicle. So I'll most likely be running it to the other side of the car, and then back into the sump. So probably put the scavenger pump on the other side. There's not much room here anymore. Still need to rotate that housing, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's it, boys. The little oil sump, obviously not sealed properly yet to the turbo. Turbo still needs to come off, still need to do the internal wastegate, so it doesn't open. I need to clock the compressor housing up to about here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you next episode. Have a safe and happy Easter, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.